Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Last week we got some door locks figured out, got the gear selector working, mounted some speakers, things like that. We're going to continue on that door theme and see if we can get the door lock mechanism mounted. So let's get to it. All right, on the door here, I guess I'll show you here, but it's got some, I'll call them design mounting points. And I just figured out that in here, using a magnet, it's got a metal plate, in each of these spots. So here. So I think that means I can tap into here, which is good. I was wondering if I had to do rib nuts or something else. All right, took some sanding so I could get the mating surface here nice and flush. Had to take a few little recesses here where my speakers were mounting, and then drilled some holes. So that's good. We'll get that one up here. I think I mentioned last time, but this is going to be, I'm going to kind of put the, we'll call it the car interior vinyl, kind of that textured vinyl, and kind of put it on here with some contact cement. And I don't know, we'll see how it goes. The other thing is my other drill kind of wore out. It's maybe 10 or 15 years old, so I got a new one. This may be the tool of the week. Here is the plan with the door. I've got to do a cutout for the door lock. The actual locking mechanism, and then that well, maybe I'll just bring those components over here so you can see. Okay, so this is the door lock, and it essentially gets mounted to the door, from the inside of the door, but like this. So basically when it comes down, it goes through there. So this is the lock that goes to the handle, and this part goes to that handle, and this part goes to here. So I've got to drill some holes to allow for these screws, and then also kind of notch out right here on the fiberglass so that the door latch can go in there. All right, so the fiberglass panels often have tiny recesses that kind of, again, indicate, I don't know how you can see that, but like, where the holes are. I think this whole thing right here I'm supposed to cut out, but I figured I'd start small. Anyway, so those 3 holes should line up with these 3. And I'll either have to kind of widen the holes. This kind of lock here kind of runs up against the door, so I can't quite get it where it needs to go. So I'll either need to shave that lock down or open up the holes, or maybe a little bit of both. Alright, so I've got it in. I don't know if you can see though, kind of bad lighting. Well, maybe you can see better here. But basically there's just a little bit of gap between the lock and the fiberglass. And I've shaved off a little bit of the lock there, but I might either shave the lock or the fiberglass to get it to kind of sit all the way flat. The other thing is, so this is to kind of unlatch, that's free. The one behind it is the lock, and it's too close to the fiberglass here to swing kind of to lock or unlock. So we will have to do some improvising. So one more thing, so this is kind of the striker plate, and so this one has to kind of fit inside there. So I need to open this up just a little bit more. So it kind of fits in here, but not up here. So I'll go ahead and take a little bit more off of here. Looks like I gotta go all the way to the edge here and have about this opening kind of all the way. So we'll go ahead and do that. All right, I was able to do the trimming and such. So this is now kind of sitting flush on the fiberglass, and this lock back here is able to move back and forth. So now a couple other things I got to do. So that wire there, I've got to hook it to the door handle and then to the interior kind of car latch handle. So that'll allow me to open the door from the inside. I've got this that they gave me for the outside. I don't know how this works, so I'll probably have to figure something out, but I'll show you the thought. So on the shell, again, the door comes down and sits flush here, but it's got this little recess for you to kind of reach in. So my thought is it either goes, I don't know, it goes something like this where you can scoot it in, or maybe you can pull it up, or something like that to unlatch it. So I will see what I can find. This is going to mount somewhere on the inside or whatever, but this handle will go through and I'll be able to open it somehow. So let me figure that out and see what I can come up with. All right, here's the best that I can tell. So in order for it to go through this slot here and kind of pull it down, I've got to have a hole or slot here in the door, and that will allow essentially this one to come through, and then when it's pushed down, it'll unlock it, or I shouldn't say unlock it, but unlatch it. So I need a hole that'll go through there. So that means like this handle will live, you know, again, this one will go through, and then when I push down on that, that'll unlock it. So the mating piece is this, and it's got these holes, but the way I see it, it's gonna have to like mount like this or something, somewhere in here. So I don't really see that I'm gonna drill through the top side of my door here, because that's kind of a very prominent spot, and that's essentially where the window would go up. So it'll go here, but I'm not going to drill into it, so I'd probably just maybe fiberglass over it. So we'll start with kind of drilling a hole or a slot to get that handle into the door. All right, I've got the slot cut out here for the striker plate, and so basically when the door closes, this one will come in and it locks. So right now it can't get unlocked unless I kind of reach inside and undo the lock. So I think we got that one figured out. We still need to figure out the kind of this manual release here, kind of the hidden handle, as well as tying it to the interior door handle. All right, I'm just kind of showing here how this assembly goes into the lock. So this one goes here, this red one goes there, and this one goes back behind there. So we'll just start. All right, so that's what it looks like. We'll go ahead and do the other side now. All right, so the other side's got this and this. And the blue guy goes into this slot right here. And this shape goes into this hook right here. So let's see if we can do it. Okay, I think I was trying to put it in the square side first. I think the round side's supposed to go in, so try that again. There, much better. I think it's supposed to go just a titch further. So that is the door lock assembly. All right, we'll show you real quick here how this guy works. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull on this lever and you can watch kind of the actions over there. So I think we got it. All right, I just found out, again, it's been like a year or whatever after I got these parts, but they gave me two different sizes. So the smaller one fits. This one is like way too big, so I'll have to figure out what to do. All right, we got the one lock done. This guy is too big to fit in the other lock, so I figure I'll just kind of maybe grind it down, see if I can get it to shape, and see if we can make it work. All right, I got the other end shaped down and snapped in. So now I got two working car door handles. All right, next problem. So I got this guy mounted in here, but where it's got the cable, it doesn't have a lot of room. So I'll see if I can show you down here, but basically it wants to kind of go out kind of away from the door, but essentially it immediately has to kind of come up and back around like a U-turn. And it's got kind of enough friction in the system. When I do the door handle, like it's really kind of not wanting to go. I mean, I think you can get it, but then the other thing is it kind of doesn't quite I don't know. It's just a lot of friction, I think, is all. I mean, it still moves, but it just seems like it's a lot of friction. So I have to see if there's some other way to. Just don't see any other way to do it though. So I don't know. We'll keep looking, see if there's some way to kind of relieve some of that friction. All right, so this handle, again, when we push on it there, it's going to unlock it or unlatch it. So here's the other thing I'm looking at though. So if right now I can kind of disassemble. So if I put this guy, if I mount it over there and like fiberglass it in or somehow secure it, I can't ever get the lock off. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to kind of removably mount that. All right, so here's the plan. With this guy, as I mentioned before, if this is kind of physically attached in here and there's just no way to get this off. So what I'm going to propose is to essentially get rid of this screw, attach this plate to the fiberglass, and essentially thread this plate or essentially weld a nut on. That way you can screw the screw into this nut and also into that one. So as long as there's some space in between, it won't bind up. And this only has to like swing like, I don't know, 1/8 of a turn. So I think that's what we'll do. And then if you ever want to get it off, you just unscrew the screw. So we'll see if we can make that happen. All right, I've got a temporary fix. I'm going to, I've got epoxy that's curing to hold that bolt in place. If I like it, I'll just leave it and maybe even put some fiberglass over the top. If not, I believe this is stuff I can kind of just chip off or break off. So we'll leave this here and then we will go work on door number 2. Alright, lots of little whittling. I always just hesitate to kind of cut more than I need to, but there it is. And so this guy can move. And then the lock over here, I don't know, you probably can't see that, but that one moves as well. And then over here, that's what it looks like. Alright, here's this striker plate. So it goes in there and it locks. Do that. And it unlocks. Okay, so there's the nut that's epoxied on, and basically I can push the handle and unlock the door. So the outside, kind of that's what the handle looks like, and again you can push it down and that unlocks the door. So I think I want just a little more clearance. It kind of runs into the edge over here when I push down, kind of on that back side. It's kind of almost wedges, so I'll probably relieve it a little bit more there. I'll kind of fit it on the car, make sure that this handle can clear, and if everything looks good, we'll do it to the other door. All right, we'll just give it a quick test here, make sure that the handle can unlatch it. So I'm gonna need to grind just a little bit more. This is take 2. I'm just trying to release the lever there and have the striker plate come out. All right, so it works. I'm just noticing there's a close section right here. So I either need to get like a different screw, or I need to bring that whole lock assembly kind of closer to the outside of the door. But I got the exterior handle working there, and that's kind of what it looks like inside. So I'm able just to kind of unscrew this to take the whole thing out. But yeah, that's kind of how it looks. It does put a little bit of stress on it, so when I push the handle, I don't know if you can see anything, but it kind of wants to move a little bit. So I probably will put, if I like it, I'll probably put some fiberglass around that just to kind of help strengthen it. All right, I've got this, so there's some clearance here. I mean, not a ton, but enough that it'll work. I got the handle mounted. So I've got everything working. This works really well. However, it puts enough stress. I'll try not to completely break it off, but this was a temporary fix just to see if it works. I don't know if you can see, but it's starting to kind of pop away right there. So I will go ahead and put some fiberglass on to reinforce that. All right, we've got this one working now for door number 2. So if I move the handle, so it opens it. I even checked to verify that it releases this, but that's kind of what it looks like. The last thing I want to do, so this one I don't have on the cable, so that cable right there, I'm going to go ahead and put it on, and put it on with the other kind of part of the door there, so we can kind of get the full effect when it's on, and we can pull the door and have everything open and close. So we'll do that, and then we'll call it a week. All right, you probably couldn't see too well, but again, we first epoxied the nut on, and then we're just kind of fiberglassing around and even over the top. So I'll probably need to come back just with like a Dremel or something just to make sure that the top is clear. But that's what it looks like. And like so. All right, for me, tool of the week, the cordless drill. My old one kind of gave it up, so we got a new one. I will put a link in the description below. All right, this is kind of what it looks like. I think it turned out pretty good. The only other things I need to work on, so again, that handle, the interior handle, when I pull it, it does unlatch, but again, there's just a lot of friction. So right now that door cable, it's pretty windy and it's pretty stiff. So I don't know if I need to look at another one or if I can just loop some things up and have it move a little easier. So I'll look into that. The other thing is I've got the mechanical unlock. So when I hit the lock or unlock button, I've got a little actuator that will unlock things. So I need to get that wired as well. So then speaker wires, the actuator, door locks, all that wiring's got to come out, kind of the door jamb. But at that point, we're getting pretty close to having done doors. All right, everybody, we were able to get those locks sorted out. Got a lot of fiberglass carved up, and everything fits pretty good. So pretty happy with that. Update on the inverter issue that we have. So you can see kind of right over there, everything's still torn apart. I told myself, I told the viewers, I said, hey, I'm gonna give them another week. It's been almost a month now and I haven't heard anything. So I've sent several emails, several phone calls, voice messages, just haven't heard anything back. I realize they may be busy, have other big important projects. To be honest, even just a simple email saying like, hey, we can't get to you this week, or for the next couple weeks, if you can hold on, we're gonna get to you in 2 weeks or something. That's good with me, but just no communication at all, that doesn't work. So I said that I would go ahead and try and do this by myself. So I've sourced a board. A fellow friend from YouTube is gonna sell me a board, and I'm gonna send it up to EV Controls, and they're gonna go ahead and flash the new board with the old board or whatever, so now it can work with this motor. I'll have them look the control over one more time, and then they'll send it back. At that point, we'll be very careful when we hook things up. I may even see if EV Controls can kind of take me step by step, just so I don't damage anything again. But at that point, hopefully it'll talk and we'll have a working car again. So it may take another week or two for all the shipping back and forth and getting everything dialed in, but that's how it is. The other thing is, it really doesn't bother me too much. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd much prefer a working car, but at the same time, even if this stuff was up and working and ready to go, I'd be doing the same thing. So I'd be working on doors or fiberglass or something. So just trying to keep spirits high and keep working. So thanks for tuning in. All right, everybody, that does it for this week. See you next week.